Hello and welcome. Am I okay? Good. I almost thought I didn't plug in this microphone, but we're here. We're live. We're gonna draft some poodles tonight, and hopefully, Underdog does not get banned in California before the summer is over. I'm praying that doesn't happen. Let's get in while we can, shall we? Vámonos, muchachos. Let's begin. All right, we're here on Underdog. We got a minor delay, so I'll give it a few seconds, but we're hopping into the poodle for sure tonight. There's not that many entries left, just over 3,000 spots remaining, and we will hopefully be able to do at least two tonight, maybe three, might push it for four. We'll see what happens, but until I can, at least three drafts tonight. So, Poodle, $7 entry, very good advance rates if you do make the playoffs, 1 out of 6, 1 out of 5 in weeks 15, 16. And then if you make the final 310 people, we're shooting for up to 40K for first prize. So if you want to join me, if you got some entries left, go ahead and hit that button right now. Join me right now as I'm talking, and I will join in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Hopefully it's synced up. We got 6 spots left. 6 spots left. If you want one, come and get it. And hopefully this is not one of my final live streams of the summer. But oh my god, yeah, I'd be so caught with my pants down if it does get banned in Cali. In case you don't know, in case you live in a logical state, this is something that may happen in the next week here in California. The Attorney General set to ban all daily fantasy sports. I think that includes these Underdog season-long drafts. I hope it doesn't. I do not know all the logistics. I only heard about it last night, and I was pretty pissed. It seems like California is hell-bent on setting up policies to kick us out. Just make it as unlivable as possible. Seems like their ultimate goal. I will be pretty fucking mad if this shit does get banned. And also, like, how does that even work? Like, I've drafted a bunch of teams already. Are you telling me that we get to December, I win the poodle, and I can't claim my 40K? Like, what the fuck? That would be insane. I assume because the bet was made before the ban, it's all legit. It was legal when I started. It should be legal if I win, but I really have no idea. I'm hoping this shit gets thrown out because this is pissing me off. Even though I had a good round of golf today, uh, this would really dampen the mood for sure. But this draft is underway. We got Jamar Chase at 1. We have pick 4. Beautiful spot to be in. Would love Bijan Robinson at this slot. Saquon goes. We are getting our boy. We are getting a Mr. Bijan. The Bijan Al Gaib. This team is the Bijan Al Gaib. We got some Grey Poupon Bijan on this motherfucking sandwich. Bijan's gonna fucking wreck this year. Just crush any opponent he comes in contact with. And who knows, maybe we can set up a Michael Penix stack. A Michael Penis Jr., if you will. Did you guys see when he got drafted? This had to be intentional, but the Falcons Twitter page wrote Michael Penis Jr. And, like, to be fair, the S and the X on the keyboard are literally right next to each other. But of all typos to make on your first round draft pick that you shocked everyone taking after bringing in Kirk Cousins, like, maybe get his fucking name right. Maybe don't write Michael Penis Jr. on your effing Twitter page. Just a hilarious typo. Beautiful, beautiful mistake. But Bobby J, I'm pants down with money right now, so I can't even afford to Underdog draft this summer. But the pain and grinding will pay off, and next year. You know, if anything, you're far more likely to be losing the money you put into Underdog rather than win. Like, as optimistic as I am, I did lose some money last year. I'm going to be honest with you. I did lose some money. I'm still coming back in high hopes that that will change. We were like 10 points away from breaking even. I've shown you some week 16 teams that just did not work out. But, you know, it's okay, man. It's not the end of the world. Thank you for joining me. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Seth, you got a question? Let it rip, bro. No time to waste. Go ahead and drop it. Anyways, we have Bijan. We're sitting pretty. We're gonna go with the best value on the board. Looks like Derrick Henry is falling. Derrick Henry available at 18. Imagine if he's there at 21. That'd be fucking dope. But I expect him to be taken here. Yeah, Derrick Henry there. At pick 18 to the team with Puka. Not a surprise. Otherwise, the only big shocker in this lobby would be Rashee Rice at pick 17 there to team 8. That's high on Rashee. I am a Charger fan. There's no effing chance I'm taking Rashee over Ladd. But I think Ladd's going to get sniped here. I think we're going to, yeah, not get lucky there. That's unfortunate. Do we go Taylor or do we go Bucky? I don't think I'm taking Higgins here. I think I'm going to pass on Higgins. We're going to take Bucky. Bucky's more inspiring. A little more unknown with Bucky. Granted, Liam Cohen's gone. There are some concerns, but I would expect his snap share to jump up. I would expect Bucky to get closer to 70% snaps on average this season. Last year, he barely averaged like 55% in the back half of last year when he was breaking out. So if you give Bucky an extra 20% of the plays for him to be on the field, he should reach that ceiling a little bit more often. But Taylor has an equally high ceiling. I'm not afraid to draft Taylor either. There's reasons to be excited for Taylor, but that entire offense is a little bit up in the air with their quarterback situation. So we'll go with Bucky. I trust him a little bit more. I think I'm officially ranking Bucky Irving over Jonathan Taylor. That's, I think, where my gut is telling me to go. But if y'all feel differently about that, you do you. No issues there. Can't fault you if that's your preference. But where do we go here? I'm going to go Adams. I'm going to take that Falcons-Rams Week 17 matchup. I can't say I ever feel good about drafting Marvin Harrison here in the third. I think he's way overpriced. Not my cup of tea. Garrett Wilson probably disappoints a little bit. Terry might not score as many touchdowns, but that contract looming is a little bit of a red flag. And then JSN should be fine, but I'm going to go with my boy Davante Adams. Davante Adams led me some championships and some home leaves back in the past. Let's hope he leads us to glory here in this draft. But Jonathan, what up, my man? Welcome in. I am hoping I'm not going to be sentenced to the sad existence of no underdog like you have in Washington State. Hopefully California does not ruin my summer. But Bobby J asking, would I rather have backdoor Brock Bowers or Trey McBride? In a redraft league, you know, fuck it. Give me Bowers. Let's bet on Chip Kelly. The touchdown department for Trey McBride just doesn't seem to hit. And like as optimistic as you can be that changes, it may not happen. It may not happen this year. Kyler throws a lot of like one touchdown games. Kyler's actually really disappointing. If it wasn't for his rushing upside, he would actually be a terrible pick in fantasy. Like, last year he only had 21 touchdowns. And, like, let's look at the games with more than one touchdown. There was one game in week 2, second game in week 8, and then third game in week 14. And then the only other game where he threw for multiple touchdowns was week 18, which is irrelevant for fantasy. Like, these are atrocious touchdown numbers in the passing department for Kyler. Kyler is a big disappointment in my view. I don't like drafting Kyler. That's why I don't love drafting McBride. I'll take him here and then, you know. I don't want to be completely fading McBride. But if I had my choice of the two, Absolutely. Give me Brock Bowers all day. Give me Mr. Brock Bowers. Anyways, Seth, I have the 10th pick in a 12-man league. I'm thinking my top option in that first is Nico. And if he isn't there, I'll probably go Puka on the comeback in round 2. Should I go Genty or CMC? A-Chain is gone. Let me make my pick. I'll come back to this question in just a sec. I will be right back with that answer. We don't need quarterback. And I'm embracing my Chiefs hatred. Call me a hater as much as you want. I'm gonna fully endorse the Chargers this year. Fuck it, they're winning in Brazil week 1. They're gonna take the division. Let's pass on the Chiefs. Feels on brand. Feels like the move. Worthy's much better in best ball, but as my wide receiver 2, with Adams as my 1, let's go DK Metcalf. Let's just bank on a slightly higher floor than ceiling. DK still has a tremendously high ceiling as the number 1 wide receiver in Pittsburgh. But back to your question, Seth. Back to your question. Okay, so what's the scoring setting? Is this full PPR? Is this half PPR? Please let me know. I'm going to operate as half PPR because that's... Oh, shit, I'm on the clock again. Really? God damn it. I don't want to pass on Hampton in the 5th. That feels stupid. Give me Hampton here. We are pretty behind at receiver, but I can't go off-brand there. We said F you to the Chiefs. We're absolutely taking Hampton. Hampton's going to ball out. Hampton's going to be... almost said the next to LaDainian Tomlinson. That's probably overboard. That's probably an insane take. But Hampton's gonna be fucking good. That's for sure. Anyways, Seth Denker, your question. I think in round 1, I would go Puka over Nico. I trust Puka a little bit more. I think the year 3 breakout is, kind of a thing. Nico scares me just a little bit. Just a little bit. The Nico profile, he does not stay healthy. Nico misses time, man. And I know Puka misses some time as well. I'm not going to pretend like Puka doesn't get hurt. But last year, Nico only played 12 games. Year before that, only 15. As a sophomore, only 10 when he didn't do jack fucking shit. And then in his rookie season, only 14 games. Nico has never stayed healthy. That is my only concern with Nico Collins. Nico Collins can absolutely break a game open. He's that talented. Nico Collins was my wide receiver 1 in the subscriber league last year. And while he did let me down in week 17, I was able to win without him. He carried my team in some weeks. He was really a big part of me making the championship round. But I'm a little worried about him this year. There's some added pieces coming in. He does play a lot better when there's other receivers alongside him. Like his stats last year were actually hit the best overall when both Tank and Diggs were both on the field. When one of them got hurt, he was still really good. He had a few rough games though when they were without the receivers. It's good that they're bringing in, 2 rookies from Iowa State as well as Christian Kirk. But I think one of the reasons why they drafted 2 receivers in this year's draft is because of his injury risk. Like if he goes down, they are fucked with no one. So it's an insurance policy to bring in Kirk and draft 2 receivers. That is my tiebreaker. I can absolutely see a world where Nico outperforms Puka. I'm very high on Adams, and I wish Puka scored more touchdowns, but that's bound to pivot in his favor at some point. I just think the volume is much more locked in for Puka. And then if you want one more tiebreaker, you're betting on Sean McVay as opposed to... Who's the new offensive coordinator in Houston? I think it's also a Rams-related guy. But just give me Sean McVay calling plays. Not one of his disciples. Not one of his, minions, so to speak. I'll just take Sean McVay and Puka Nacua in round 1. Then draft whichever running back you prefer, whether it's CMC or Genty. I think in redraft I'd go Genty over CMC. I'd want the floor of Genty. I think I'd pass on the risk of CMC. But full PPR league, that also makes me prefer Puka. Looks like your message was just retracted, but I did see full PPR. In full PPR, I'd absolutely go Puka over Nico. Um, Puka should probably average like 12 plus targets a game. I would expect that volume to be there. Nico's still gonna get high volume, but my preference, like I mentioned multiple times already, I'll stop hammering this point. Give me Puka, then Genti in round 2. That's what I'd be hoping to get. In full PPR though, I would love A-Chain above Genti. Definitely not taking Montgomery. Jacoby Myers is there. Love Jacoby Myers. Value in the 7th. Give me Jacoby here all day to balance out this receiving core. We got some good receivers, I think, to keep the floor high at this position when we go with trip RBs through the first 5 rounds. When we go Bijan, Bucky, and Hampton in the 5th, I will gladly take the volume that is pretty much locked in for Jacoby. But Chuck asking, I'm keeping Brian Thomas Jr. for my 7th round pick. Excellent value. Would you advise taking Barkley at 101, 12-man draft, half PPR? I think you have to be betting on Barkley again this year. I mean, maybe the Madden curse is real, but like most likely Barkley puts up another 1,700 rushing yards. Like maybe not another 2K in 16 games, but like he's the man there. He's their big offense. They gave him a big contract extension. He's getting paid handsomely. I think yeah, I'd probably go Saquon. Knowing I have a Brian Thomas Jr. in the 7th, I'd probably lock up the elite RB. If you want to avoid the age concerns of Saquon, then go Bijan. But Saquon's probably a safer bet in general. I'd feel comfortable going Barkley, whoever you like, you know. But yeah, at the 101, knowing I have an elite receiver in my back pocket in round 7, yeah, I'd be more willing to grab Saquon there instead of going like Jamar Chase. That would be my preference. I mean, protest. Did I miss something? Creations? I don't see a previous comment. Anyways, yeah, that's what they say. That's what they say. But the heartbreak that will ensue if this thing gets banned will be unfortunate. Jamie Pirog asking what we smoking on tonight. You know, this is gonna be disappointing. This is gonna be a very disappointing answer. Your boy has been sober for about 3 weeks now. I sadly have been sober. Do we take Ayuk at pick 93? Fine. Give him to me. Ayuk is slowly becoming my most drafted receiver. If I didn't have Adams on this team, it's possible that Ayuk would have overtaken Adams in my exposure with this pick. But I just can't quit him, man. I just can't. I've had a infatuation with Ayuk for a long time. He's let me down. He's also really paid off at times. But would have loved like Egbuka there. Egbuka goes 83. Higgins 84. Keon 85. Wow. Some receivers got pushed up. Ayuk continues to fall. Anyways, this is the team. Bijan, Bucky, Hampton. We are killing it at running back. Receiver, Adams, Metcalf, Olave, Myers, and Ayuk. Needed to play catch up. I think it worked out okay. Ayuk is relatively risky, but worth some chances. Pittman falls. And we don't have a QB to stack in this range. Like some of these quarterbacks have been going off. Yeah, give me Pittman for sure. Hell yeah. Negate some of that risk with Ayuk. Absolutely. I almost took Pittman there instead of Ayuk at 93. I'm so glad I passed. For him to come around is tremendous value. It's been a while since I've seen Pittman in round 9 at pick 100. Gladly gonna take him. What's the issue? Just life stuff, man. I need to make extra money, set myself up with some savings for the regular season. And one of the things I've been doing is driving Uber, and like I can't be risking that shit here in California. Even though I don't think it's that big of a deal, it's I just needed to kind of lock in, be a bit more of an adult at the moment. When I'm stuck editing a lot in the season, I'm not done forever. I'll be back on the pipe. Don't you worry. It's just a bit of a break for the moment, but just had to make some responsible decisions. You know what I mean? But a night like this, I do miss it. But I'm the type of guy where like if I have weed in the room, if I have weed, I will smoke it every day until I run out. So it's just a discipline thing. You know, sometimes it's good to take a break. One thing I'm looking forward to is that tolerance that's gonna be fucking low as hell when I get back to it, bro. Oh my god. The first hit when you have not smoked for weeks is like whether it's a joint or like whatever it is, it has like the value of like two bong rips or something. It's fucking insane. How like easily you bounce back on that stuff. I don't want Dak. I think we'll take Herbert and then try and get like QJ later. I'm gonna go Herbert. We got Hampton. Hampton's gonna be catching some passes. Hampton's gonna break some shit open. Let's assume Herbert throws a couple TDs with Yak to Hampton in fantasy playoffs. Let's stack some running backs. Let's not be afraid for that combo. It's a bit underrated. I can't say it's the best stack to have with Herbo. But let's go Hampton and Herbert on this squad. Maybe should have gone Tyler Warren since we have Pittman. Grab another Colt. I kind of wish I did. I was hoping Warren would fall back to me. I've seen Warren fall to like pick 130 a lot lately, so thought I'd risk it. Biscuit did not hit. That's okay. It is what it is. We're back on the clock. I don't think I'm going to take Goff. Taking Goff unstacked feels kind of dumb. Goff has no rushing value. We're going to grab tight end because we've ignored that position all draft. Let's go David Njoku. Very good value. And so far, this is the team. I feel like it's pretty strong. I like it. We have Herbert stacked up with Hampton. Like I mentioned, not the best case scenario, but Herbert also has some rushing value. Herbert can crush with like a 60-yard rushing game where you don't need him stacked up. So let's hope that is also a combination of this path for success. And then running back is fucking loaded with Bijan, Bucky, Hampton, and receivers working out with Adams, DK Metcalf, Chris Olave, Jacoby Myers, Brandon Ayuk, Michael Pittman Jr., David Njoku as the tight end. I'm liking this team. I feel good about this team. Jamie only takes Pittman if he misses out on downs. I mix both of them in. I'm not afraid to take either. Seth, you're welcome. Glad I could help you there. I mean, hopefully I'm right, you know. But that's my opinion on that. But Jamie had the nice dreams about the perfect lineup. Who was in it, man? You want to spill the beans? You want to give us the insights? Let us know. I should totally show you the board. What am I doing? Sorry. Yeah, the board is a bit more entertaining on these long turns for the screen, but nothing too crazy that's happening. I'm not really paying attention to any of those other teams though, so maybe something wild did happen, and I'm just talking here. Should probably go Rashad. But let's make the bet that Bucky's just that fucking good. We'll go QJ. Get our 7th receiver. We're done at receiver. We got the Quentin Johnston, Justin Herbert stack. Maybe QJ scores another 8 touchdowns this season. QJ and Trey Harris are probably going to finish with similar stat lines. And QJ goes like 3 rounds later. So QJ's a fine pick. Not my favorite selection. I'm very overweight on Trey Harris. I need to catch up a little bit on my exposure to Quentin Johnston. He has been moving up the board, so it's not as like easy to get him. And we have Herbert. Let's not take any risks. Let's just take Quentin Johnston. And call it a day at receiver. 7 receivers at this point. That's enough. We've got some good ones. Plenty of volume, a lot of wide receiver ones, and some touchdown upside across the board. But I think I might go with a Michael Penix Jr. here. Want to go likely, in all honesty, but we're going with running back stacks on this team, and then maybe we go Ray McLeod, or who knows, Kyle Pitts is available again. We're going with Michael Penix all day long. The only stacking options we have are Stafford, Rodgers. We could go Tyler Shuck. There's also Geno available. Purdy's off the board. Daniel Jones is there. We still have some receiver stacks available to us. But we're making some bets on these running backs. Let's stack running backs. Might be misguided, might be a dumb strategy, but the receivers we have do catch passes. Bijan is a hell of a receiver. Bijan could get like 90 targets next season. Bijan had, where are the targets? Receiving. 86 targets as a rookie, 72 last year, but 61 receptions. So his efficiency did go up in terms of catch rate. Would love to see those targets bump up a little bit. To fall by 14 isn't like ideal in Raheem Morris's new system, but Bijan does catch passes, that's for sure. Let's hope it's the combo we need. Geno off the board. Okay. Terry asking, half PPR redraft, trade Bucky for K9 and T. Higgins. Team has Burrow, Chase, A.J. Brown, Bucky, Hall, Njoku, Sutton. Bench has Tracy, Etienne, Najee, Swift, Shaheed, Reed, and Downs. I would not give up Bucky for K9. Personally, I don't think... I think you're giving up the best player in the trade, and generally, I do not like a 1 for 2, because you also have to factor in the player you are dropping to make the space, you know, because obviously T. Higgins is better than any receiver you pretty much have, other than maybe A.J. Brown. But you also are having to drop Josh Downs. I guess Rashid Shaheed is who you drop here. That's probably who I would drop. I don't think it's worth it, man. I don't think Bucky and Shaheed for K9 and T. Higgins is that valuable. I mean, obviously it's a big upgrade at receiver. You have Burrow, it's good to have the stack. But the fall off of Bucky to K9 does scare me a little bit. Granted, K9 has tremendous upside. He doesn't stay healthy either. He does not stay healthy. Ooh, Stafford gets sniped. Bummer. We need some running backs. I think we're going to go Roschon Johnson. Pitts does not make it. Pitts and Stafford get sniped. That is a big bummer. I'm going to go Roschon. But, yeah, in half PPR, I think I'd stick with Bucky, my friend. I'm not someone who likes to trade in general, though. Unless I'm getting a really good deal, it's like an obvious trade, or I'm kind of trading like superfluous pieces that are like 1-to-1. Like, I generally don't love to trade. I kind of just like to dance with the team that brought me there, the team I drafted. But that trade is very tempting. I'm not gonna lie. It's very enticing, but I just don't love the K9 fall off from Bucky. I think Bucky could be a true league winner. K9, a little risky there with Sharps there behind him. Do we go Rico Dowdle? Do we go Gesicki? Do we go Kate Otten? Not going Zach Ertz, that's for sure. Not gonna take Wandale. I think we'll go Rico Dowdle. Dowdle should catch some passes. Chuba Hubbard could get hurt. That's our selection. We go Rico Dowdle, a very legit handcuff running back, arguably just as valuable as guys like Trey Benson, Ray Davis, Rashad White. I think he's in one of the like tier break spots. Granted, I do love Marshawn Lloyd as well, but I think Dowdle probably has a bigger role than Marshawn Lloyd. We'll take Rico Dowdle. Hope for some Chuba injury to skyrocket Dowdle's value. We're never hoping for injury, but when you draft a handcuff, that's really the main path for success, generally speaking. Jamie does a podcast multiple times a week at Going for Two and Fantasy Six Pack. My favorite I join is on the 420 Fantasy Hustler podcast, where I can be myself. You can always be yourself, bro. Let it rip. Dope. Yeah. Okay, maybe you can smoke some weed on one and maybe not the other. If I catch your drift, I think that's what you're saying. But I'll check it out, man. After I get off, I'll try and give it a peep. Jamie hates QJ. Found himself taking a lot at the value he's following with those monster 20-point games. Yeah, that's the weird thing. Like, he has games where he's absolutely ass. Two of those games are when I watched him in person against the Ravens and the Bucks. Uh, Lost my voice briefly booing Quentin Johnston back in week 12 at that Chargers Ravens game. God, he was ass. Oh my God, he was so frustrating. Quentin Johnston, so fucking annoying when he drops the ball. He can't play well in like big spots. He's just not that guy. Do I go Rodgers? We probably take Rodgers. It's not like our quarterbacks are like that safe. I think I'm going to take Rodgers here. We have DK Metcalf. Maybe we can go Calvin Austin on the way back. Granted, that's probably not the best decision. It'd be better to have Freiermuth on this team because we need tight end. There's only 2 rounds left. I need 3 tight ends. Yeah, F that. We're not drafting Calvin Austin on this team. We're just rolling with the Metcalf stack. And then we need some tight end selections. We'll grab a Tyler Conklin on this squad. And then who we going with here? Oh no, I did not get Stafford. Yeah, who am I taking here? I'm not going to take Sanders. I might go Juwan. I almost never take Juwan, but he's sneaky, especially if Taysom Hill never really gets on the field. I think I'm going to go Juwan, barring a snipage. They go Jatavion. Yeah, let's take Juwan. A player I've liked in the past and probably shouldn't be going this late given his production in the past. We go with Juwan Johnson at pick 196. And then I'll be targeting Tyler Conklin with our final selection for that Herbo stack. But here's the team. Let's show it off. We had pick 4. We had Bijan Robinson, Bucky Irving, Omarion Hampton at running back in the first 5 rounds. Love the value here on Hampton. That's a fucking steal in my opinion. And then we waited a while. We took Roschon Johnson, Rico Dowdle to fill out the team. Handcuffs with upside. Have some clear paths for success. I think Roschon might be one of the better values among these like late round backups. Because I can't imagine Swift just gets all the production. Roschon was more of a goal line back than Swift was last year. So hoping that hits. At receiver, we got Devontae Adams, DK Metcalf, Chris Olave, Jacoby Myers, Brandon Ayuk, Michael Pittman Jr., and Quentin Johnston. Tight end, David Njoku, Juwan Johnson. We're targeting Tyler Conklin. And then our quarterbacks are Justin Herbert stacked up with QJ and Hampton. We have Michael Penix stacked up with Bijan Robinson. And Aaron Rodgers stacked up with DK Metcalf. Decent. Obviously, the strength of this squad is the running back core. But we got 3 quarterbacks. We're going to have 3 tight ends. I think we'll be competitive. I think we have a shot. Let's hope for the best. Let's hope that Bijan, Bucky, and Hampton carry this squad to glory. But last pick, barring a snipage, it's Tyler Conklin. I think he'll beat out Will Dissly. I'm pretty sure he's a better receiver than Will Dissly. Will Dissly was mainly brought in to block, and then Hayden Hurst just shit the bed, was never effective, so Will Dissly was the guy. And Will Dissly led to one of those interceptions in the playoffs against the Texans. I think there's a slight bit of a souring on Will Dissly. So that's the team. Hoping that these late round tight ends hit. And if Njoku stays healthy, it should work out. Hopefully, Joe Flacco's the quarterback for the majority of the season. But we're going to draft another one. We're going to do one more poodle while we can. There's still about 2,500 teams left to be drafted. If you want to join me, hit the button right now. I am hopping in. One more spot. So it's full. Hopefully, if you wanted it, you got it. But we did join this lobby on the tail end. So maybe you got in the next one. I'm at least doing one more. I'll try and do a third for sure. Maybe a fourth. Probably not, but maybe. Anyways, we have pick 5. We got good picks on this stream today. And I've ignored the chat. Sorry. Let me get back to the chat. Terry, thoughts on the trade? Yeah, let Terry know what you think in the chat. In redraft. You do you, Terry. Trust your gut. Trust your intuition. Live with the team you want. It's your decision at the end of the day. I don't think I would give away Bucky, though. That's just me. I would try and give away Breece Hall and get, give up Breece Hall and, like, Shaheed. Or Breece Hall and Downs. That'd be nice. Probably not going to happen, but that'd be nice. I mean, a much better trade. Jamie Pirog? You dated his mom? Jamie, what the fuck are you talking about? Dated his mom. Traded him for Dylan Sampson and Gadsden in a dynasty. Then his mom called and broke up with me. Rightfully so. The fuck? You're cracking me up, man. Oh wow, we're getting Bijan again. Hell yeah, let's do it. CMC at 2? Holy shit. Whoa. McCaffrey at 2. Ganymede playing with fire. I do like Theo Johnson. Not bad in round 18. Definitely a breakout candidate. I draft him sometimes, but on that team I wanted someone to stack up with Herbert. Nice. That's great. You are on one, bro. We'll do one more. We'll do one more. Yeah, I'm not maxing out BBM, that's for sure. Last year I did 12 BBM teams and I found it was not worth it at all. If that's your jam, if you can drop $3,750 and max out BBM, that's great for you. I do not have that catch throwaway. I hop in as many lower buy-in drafts as possible and try and get as many teams as I can, not break the bank, keep a consistent budget going. In order to do that, I don't like put in a shit ton of money at the beginning. Like every week I put in a little bit, and that's just how much I'm going to spend every week. I got to pace myself. So at the moment with that 25% deposit match last week, I do have some extra funds in the account at the moment, but while I can draft some poodles at $7 a pop, I'm definitely going to take the poodle with a good advance rate while I can. Terry asking outlook on Cortland Sutton this upcoming season. He should be okay. I'm a little bit worried about some of the incoming pass catchers. It's not ideal, but it's definitely still his job as the number one target in that offense. Ooh, we get Ladd McConkey here. This would be a dope team to have Herbert on. This would be a great combo. We're definitely not taking Bucky for the second time in a row with Bijan. That would be a bit dumb, but maybe we take Hampton again. Perhaps that's another trend. And maybe this is another Justin Herbert team. But McConkey here, definitely the best receiver available. So happy to take him. And it's just like last draft. This is where he went last time around at pick 20. We just happen to have Bijan at pick 5 to pair up with him. What is my Twitter? It's also nice and blunt. You can go and subscribe. I do not use it. I haven't touched it in years. I just don't have the bandwidth for using every single social media platform. My content is all on YouTube. I should probably branch out. I should probably do that. I'd probably get more new people that would find the channel. It would probably help me in terms of clicks and, views and subscriber shit, all that stuff. But I just stick to YouTube. Ruby, thank you so much, man. That's very kind of you to say. Appreciate you, bro. That's very nice. Bijan, Ladd McConkey is the start. That team at 2 goes CMC, T. Higgins, Tyreek Hill. I think what I might do, Jamie, to mix this team up is try and target Trey Harris and then get what's his face? Herbo, the dankest of herbs. And then yeah, we went heavy running back last time. Let's go with some receivers. I'll take Garrett Wilson here. The volume should be off the charts for Garrett Wilson. You would expect that. I love that he's getting his college quarterback as well. Like, with no competition at all, coming off the heels of that Rodgers season where he was pissed. The organization wants to make Garrett Wilson happy. And Justin Fields was his boy. I'm sure Garrett Wilson lobbied for them to bring in Fields. And then there were reports that the Steelers actually preferred to bring back Justin Fields as their quarterback, but because of what they did last year, never pivoting back to him, sticking with Russ even when he was losing at the end, Fields was just like, fuck y'all. Like, I'm done with this shit. You don't want me to play? Like, I don't want to play for you after you benched me and never brought me back. He was 4-2. Russell Wilson finished 6-5. 6-6 if you count the playoff loss. I didn't really understand why they didn't pivot back to Fields. I think they should have done that in the last few weeks. Like, I did not understand that decision by Mike Tomlin. Anyways, yeah, let's mix it up. We went more heavy running back on the last one with Bijan. Let's go more of an anchor RB approach with Bijan here at pick 5. And then maybe only if I get Hampton in the 5th will I take him. Like, maybe if Hampton's there at 44, we pass on Hampton. But yes, I am probably going to target a Justin Fields here now that we have Garrett Wilson. Love the value on Justin Fields, roughly pick 100. If he's there at 101, I'll definitely take Fields. You can take Fields unstacked. Fields can absolutely smash any given week. Fields is probably going to have some trash games. Fields does not have a floor, but in general, he also has a tremendous ceiling because of the rushing value. Ooh, Team 9 going with double elite QB with Josh Allen, Jaden Daniels. So, yeah, maybe trying to grab a quarterback before Herbert is a good plan. Hurts goes at 41. That's very interesting. To Team 8, Hooler reaching on Hurts a little bit. I mean, I understand Hurts is very valuable, but I don't really want to take Metcalf again. I think we're gonna go JMO. I haven't taken JMO a lot, but JMO's good for best ball specifically. JMO can score from anywhere on the field. JMO can also get suspended again and miss some games. Come on. There we go. Jameson Williams. Just pull up his game log real quick. 121 yards and a touchdown. 79 yards. A 9-yard game in best ball, who the fuck cares? And then 80 yards and a touchdown. 76 yards and a touchdown. -4 yards in best ball, who the fuck cares when you have access to a 124-yard ceiling. 143 yards and a touchdown. This is a best ball player if I've ever seen one. But we got Bijan, Lad McConkey, Garrett Wilson, Jameson Williams. Hampton goes, so we're not going to get that combo. But we're trying to get a different Herbert stack if that's our Chargers approach this time. Also, we don't need Herbert. That's not completely necessary. Just something to consider. Can definitely make it work without him. Trey Harrison Dynasty, yeah, absolutely love him. Especially next year when they probably cut QJ after he fucking drops it in key spots. If they make the playoffs and QJ drops it too many times, they will absolutely cut his ass. I'm gonna go Travis Hunter. If Hunter's available here in the 5th, I'll take him. I think this is the perfect spot for Hunter. I think he should probably be going a little bit more in the range of guys like Waddle and Rome and Zay Flowers, Devontae Smith. I think as a wide receiver 2, that feels a little more appropriate on Travis Hunter, but he absolutely has the value, the upside to fucking break the game open. He's a 2nd overall pick. They traded up to get him. They gave up another 1st-round pick to take him. They are going to use Travis Hunter as much as possible. Joe likes Chuba in the 5th. I should probably mix in Chuba a little bit more, but when Hunter falls to pick 53, I'll scoop up that value while I can. I'm willing to take Travis Hunter paired up with Brian Thomas at the 3-4 turn just to get that double stack with Trevor Lawrence. So I'm willing to take him here at 53. Little risky. Definitely a little risky, but I'm not panicking on, the potentially place corner. The only big risk is that, he has to tackle at this point. Like for him to play corner and let's say, I don't think they play the Ravens, but like imagine he's going up against Derrick Henry and just gets trucked like 3 times by halftime. He's probably not going to be as fast, as elusive in the second half. You know what I'm saying? Like there are some downsides to him also playing defense. Anyways, thank you for subscribing, my friend. Like I said, you're probably not going to see any content on X, but you're more than welcome to follow. I appreciate it. Glad you found the podcast. I usually don't stream at night, but I played golf earlier in the afternoon today. Usually I play golf after I do the live streams. Usually I'm streaming around like 6 hours before this current time slot. Usually it's early afternoon Pacific time. But Kamara's there. Fuck yeah, we get Kamara to value. Falls 11 spots. Sounds beautiful to me. Get some divisional correlation. Hoping he stays healthy, but fuck yeah, I'll take Kamara over Montgomery all day. Let's do it. Great value on Kamara. Love that. Love that for me. Loved Chuba last year. This season, I can still see him in the same tier as Travion, Walker, Kamara, and RJ Harvey. So that's the only reason I don't take him like crazy in round 5. I kind of just grab a receiver in round 5, the guy I like the most there, and then just grab the running back that falls back around in round 6. That's usually my strategy. And Chuba is unfortunately never the guy that falls in that regard. And so, probably appropriately so, Chuba probably should be ranked the highest among them. But in my opinion, it is the same tier. And that's why at pick 53, I don't see like a massive gap between Chuba and Kamara. Meanwhile, I could envision a massive gap between Travis Hunter and Jerry Jeudy, who would have been our other decision there to click at 68 had we swapped that decision. Saying buyer beware on JMO in Dynasty. Yeah, in Dynasty, I'd be a bit concerned. His decision making could lead to them moving off of him, but yeah, he's under contract. Should work out. Do we go running back here with Judkins? I don't have a ton of Judkins. Or do we go Jacoby? I would like to take Jacoby, but I think our receiving core is decent enough. And I know for a fact that running back is never going to look this appealing the rest of the draft. Let's go Judkins. Tremendous prospect. And having him as our third gives me like the luxury to only draft 5 while also moving off that position for like 6 rounds if I would like. I can ignore running back with this trio of Bijan, Kamara, and Judkins for a while if I want. So let's take Judkins. The thing about Kevin Stefanski is he usually has an elite running back on his team. Like think Dearness Johnson filling in for Chubb. You still have access to 25-point games, even if you're not Nick Chubb in the Browns system. Only concern, it's probably a bit more of a committee than I would like it to be. Probably. That is probably the case. Joe asking, how do you get the shields next to your name? How many drafts? I have the black and white shield, so you get it at 500 drafts. I think you can also get it if you have like a bunch of pick'em wins. Like if you've made a lot of profits in pick'em, you can also get the badge next to your name. But I think for these drafts specifically, the black and white badge you get at 500, and then the red and white badge you get at 1,000. So I'm somewhere between 500 and like 800. I'm definitely way over 500. I have at least like 650 in my underdog career. I don't think I'm over 900 though. I don't expect to get a red and white badge before the summer is over. I do not expect that to happen. If it does, I'd be kind of shocked. But yeah, I've done at least 600 drafts. I got it, I think late last year, like late July, mid-August, last year. But I've been on underdog since like, I want to say like 2022. I think this is the. Oh no, I think this is my third. Is it my third or fourth year? I'm not totally sure, but yeah, we'll get that red and white badge someday, unless, like I said, these drafts become illegal in California. But I don't know if this qualifies as daily fantasy. You know, like that's what this article said. Ban all daily fantasy sports. Is best ball daily? I don't think so. I think I'm gonna go Jaden Higgins. Get that Chargers matchup. And I also am starting to get pretty hyped on Jaden Higgins in all honesty. Let's grab another rookie. We got Kamara on this team. Let's get some youth. Give me Jaden Higgins. Yeah, I don't want the same team I drafted last time. So as much as I would have considered Michael Pittman there, we did see Pittman fall back around last time we were drafting. I need a receiver here. I'm going to go Jaden Higgins. Also, CJ Stroud falls a lot. It's actually really easy to draft CJ Stroud as a stacking option. So let's go Jaden Higgins. He should be on the field like a ton this season. And at 6'4", knowing that Nico Collins does get hurt quite often, when that happens, he should probably slide in to the alpha role on that team. He's going to be running the X if Nico misses any time. I mean, he'll be out wide a lot as well. He's not going to be in the slot, that's for sure. But yeah, let's go Jaden Higgins. Have some fun. And then, oh, I mentioned we could target Trey Harris. There's no way Trey Harris is going to fall to round 10. No effing chance. Wow, Cooper Kupp still on the board. What do y'all think? If Kupp is there, should I take Kupp or should I just stick with Justin Fields, our original plan? Should probably just stick with Fields. I think this team is going to take Kupp and remove that decision from me. But we have Garrett Wilson. I think I'm going to go Justin Fields. Wow. Fuck. This is a good price on Kupp. I almost took Kupp in the last one, but Joe Rosette saying Fields. Yeah, I kind of agree. The injury risk on Kupp is just too high. Let's just play it safe. Leave Kupp for someone else. Yeah, a gift to Team 6. Kupp falls 10 slots. A gift for Team 6. Who essentially gets zero value out of the whole transaction. They go Jaylen Warren 91. Jaylen Warren normally goes in round 9. They get Cooper Kupp at 102. Yeah, just negates any uniqueness that they would have gotten from this Cooper Kupp price. Whatever. Jamie also wanted Fields. Yeah, let's stick with our boy Justin Fields. Fields is creeping up on my most drafted quarterback. He's at least number 2. I still think Caleb Williams is number 1, but they're very close together. They're pretty much neck and neck in my exposure rankings. I got Caleb and Fields. Love waiting for quarterback in round 9, and if you can ever get a discounted price on either of them, I absolutely click the trigger. But at 101 here, I think Justin Fields is a easy decision when we have Garrett Wilson especially. Jamie's a Browns fan by default. Growing up in Cleveland, I hate drafting Browns players. I understand why. But usually Kevin Stefanski running backs are absolutely elite in fantasy. Usually the Kevin Stefanski running back fucking dominates. He knows how to dial up run plays. Browns only averaged 15.2 points per game last year, and I don't see it going up much. Last in the league, 101. Yeah, not like the most enticing situation, but Judkins is really, really talented. I was hoping he would go to like the Cowboys in round 2. I was hoping something like that would happen. Better landing spot, but yeah, for them to draft Sampson as well, that is really unfortunate. The committee in Cleveland probably caps some of his upside because the touchdowns probably don't hit very often. That's the only big bummer there. But he can break one from just about anywhere. I think he's still really, really talented. Anyways, we don't have a tight end. I think we're going to go Evan Ingram. We got Bijan, Kamara, and Judkins. I don't think we need Charbonnet. We're getting a good discount on Ingram. Let's do it. Let's take him. Not the best matchup in the world in week 17 against the Chiefs, but the Chiefs are actually bad at stopping the tight end. They have very good corners. They actually give up a lot of points and yards to the tight end position. So let's hope that works out. Hope Evan Ingram stays healthy. Should be a good year for him in the Sean Payton system. And at pick 116, I think that's a tremendous value. Like the difference between Travis Kelce at 94 and Evan Ingram at 116, I don't see much of a gap in production. I think there's a chance Evan Ingram actually outscores Travis Kelce. And so to get him 2 rounds later makes me happy. But I'm surprised the team with Bo Nix went Shaheed instead of Ingram. That's pretty shocking. They have Bowers, so I understand. But yeah, they just put themselves in a hole drafting 2 quarterbacks early. Not smart. Should have gone Ingram instead of Shaheed. But I get why they did what they did. They just need receiver desperately. They only have DJ Moore, Jalen Waddle, and Diggs other than Shaheed. So rough break there for Team 7. We will pounce on the value. Herbert goes. That's okay. We mentioned this team should probably be different than the last one, so not stacking up Herbert is not the end of the world. But Jonnu is falling. Jonnu's still there at 125. What's with all the Jonnu just hatred? People fucking despise drafting Jonnu. I don't understand why it's going this low. Yeah, let's do it. We can call. Oh, damn it! We have the same bye week at tight end. Whatever. We'll eat the 0. I don't think we need a third tight end on this team. We got a strong tight end core. Unfortunately, we're getting a 0 in week 12, but fuck it. We'll be fine. So here's the team. Fields stacked up with Garrett Wilson. Running back is Bijan, Alvin Kamara, Quinshon Judkins, and then receiver Ladd McConkey, Garrett Wilson, Jameson Williams, Travis Hunter, and Jaden Daniels. Receiving core a little bit riskier than I would actually like to admit, but running back is solid. QB definitely elite ceiling. Love the stack with Garrett Wilson, and then tight end is super strong with Evan Ingram and Jonnu Smith, with the exception of the bagel we have to swallow in week 12. Fuck it. Who cares? What are my thoughts on backstacking? Just learned the term this week. It's, not ideal. I'm sure the better stack to have is the one going much earlier, but it's definitely a way to have success. The receiver that goes earlier could get hurt. You could get the player going later, fill in their shoes and really work out. And then also the touchdowns could just fall in that direction. I don't hate it. I definitely do it myself. Am I targeting it in general? Not usually, but there are some really affordable backstacks that are absolutely worth the squeeze. So yeah, just pick and choose. Don't do it all the time. Do it when it makes sense, especially if you miss out on some other stacks and you end up drafting like a naked quarterback. I was drafting a team a few nights ago on Fantasy Garage's stream, and I was trying to get Bryce Young, but he got sniped, and then I got sniped on Daniel Jones, and I was without a stack, but Geno Smith fell 20 picks. I got Geno at 184, and it was all right, well, I'll take Geno even though I don't have a Raider, and I'll just pair him up with Dante Thornton as it comes back around. But I think I'm going to go Hollywood Brown. We need another receiver, and I could see a world where Hollywood actually really wrecks some of the value that we're expecting to be there for Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy. I love drafting the cheapest chief. Say that 5 times fast. That you can. Hollywood, this inexpensive, feels like a decent selection. We get him almost a full round after asking price. So that's always nice. But the thing about Mahomes is he spreads the ball around like crazy. You can watch a Chiefs game and there's 10 different players catching the ball, and Hollywood Brown is essentially going to have that Justin Watson role, but is much more talented than Justin Watson. He has a lot of injury risk. There's absolutely a world where Hollywood Brown gives you fucking nothing again. Wouldn't shock me at all. But you can say that for all of the Chiefs receivers. There's injury risk with everyone. Worthy's kind of light in terms of weight. Rashee Rice has some injury history very recently. And then Kelsey's 35. There's going to be some games where Hollywood does mix in, scores a touchdown, and does offer us some best ball value. I love that I never have to decide when to start Hollywood, because in redraft, no effing chance am I trying to rely on Hollywood on a week-to-week basis. That is a nightmare decision. That feels like a quick path to rack up L's. Starting Hollywood in redraft, you're going to miss tremendously. But there's going to be some weeks where he pops off for a 20-point game, and in best ball, I will take it. I will gladly take Hollywood here at pick 140. But do we go back to running back, or do we grab a QB? We have Jonnu, so we can go Tua. That makes some sense. Don't draft a shit ton of Tua, but not in love with some of the other players in this range. Definitely don't want to be clicking Jaden Blue. I'm not in the Jaden Blue fan club. Like, he's fine. He's a good pass catcher, but as a rookie in that committee, not not my guy at this price. I'd rather just wait and draft Sanders later. I'd prefer to just take Javonte a round or two higher. I'm I'm pretty much fully invested in the Javonte side of the Cowboys backfield. I think that's the guy you want. Maybe it's Sanders. I'm not convinced it's Jaden Blue as a rookie. I do not think that is the case. Anyway, Joe saying Seattle going to run a bunch. That's for sure. Jamie, if you miss on the Trey Harris, that's a good thing to get QJ later at value. Not bad, but we missed out on Herbert. That team that took Herbert goes QJ. Good for them. Seattle run scheme favors Walker. The zone scheme offers D value on Charbonnet, so I love getting Damian Martinez. I know them drafting Martinez was such a steal. It was really hyped on Martinez coming into the draft. I was shocked he fell to the 7th. I thought they got a really good value on Damian Martinez, but how many snaps is he really going to get? You know, when you have Walker and Charbonnet, how often are you actually bringing Martinez into the mix? Probably not that often. Do I ever snag Ollie Gordon? I actually took a lot of Ollie Gordon in the pre-draft best ball leagues. I actually really liked Ollie Gordon as like a potential like 4th round pick. He fell a bit later. I think he was a 6th rounder. And then for him to go to the Dolphins is not an ideal landing spot. Occasionally I've taken him. I think I've taken him like 2 or 3 times in like 100 something drafts. So I'm definitely lightweight on Ollie Gordon. I'm not targeting him, but sometimes I am willing to take him as just a Jalen Wright fade. That's mainly the reason why. But ooh, like the value on Bryce Young here at 164. We don't have any reason to take him though, but let's gamble that Thielen comes back around. Let's take a swing. Let's go with Bryce Young. Because if we take Bryce, it de-incentivizes anyone else to take Thielen. Even though Thielen's probably one of the better receivers left on the board right now, it gives us a shot, if we're the team with Bryce, that Thielen stays on the board around this little mini turn here. We need him to survive another 6 picks. Could happen, might not happen, but if he's there, that's absolutely the click I will make. We've got tight ends though where we're not taking Jatavian Sanders. So it's a shot at Thielen and pretty much no one else. I want to talk Samson is from the movie Half Baked. High five. Grab Mason Taylor later. Hot take 100. Mason Taylor finishes top 12 tight end. Top 12? I don't know about that, but he's going to be on the field like crazy, yeah. Fantasy Garage. Yeah, I found his channel earlier this week. I thought he did a good job on the stream. Drafted with him in one of the lobbies. That was a fun team. We got Puka at pick like 9, I believe, maybe pick 10. I forget where I was drafting, but we started Puka London. It was a nice little start. Thielen goes. Bummer. That's unfortunate. I think I'm gonna go Rico Dowdle. Taylor's still probably gonna be there. Our quarterbacks are Tua, Bryce Young, Justin Fields. Yeah, I need running back here. So I've ignored that for a while. We're going Braylon Allen, hoping for some Breece Hall injury that puts Braylon in the fold, and maybe some targets that work out. Not a ideal stack to have at all, but there are reports that Braylon Allen's going to be pretty involved in that offense, and I do think he's a good click in this round. Pick 173. Him and Dowdle, I think, represent a tier break, and then kind of the last guy I'm interested in later that's like a reliable handcuff is like Marshawn Lloyd. There's some other clicks I make as well, but in terms of like confidence I have in some of these handcuffs, Braylon Allen's one of the last guys I'm like, yeah, this guy's really talented and has a shot to really contribute. I do like Braylon Allen. It's almost 10 p.m. I got my air conditioner running. I definitely don't need it, Ron. So I'm just going to be right back when I turn off my AC. Definitely don't need it at this hour. Let's save on the electric bill a little bit. Anyways, Jamie's not on blue. Yeah. If I was a fan of his before the draft, then maybe I would be a truther, but hate the situation. If he was on a different team, like if he was drafted by the Bears, I'd probably like him a lot. But on the Cowboys, nah, fuck that. Yeah. That's for sure. Am I on the Jimmy Horn hype? Word on the street is that he take old man Thielen's spot in the slot. Nah, I'm not that convinced. I think if you're betting on another Panthers receiver other than Tet, give me Leggett for sure. Give me Xavier Leggett. Absolutely. Jamie asking who else is the second target on the Jets. I've mentioned on the channel in the past, I'm still holding out hope that Malachi Corley is not like that bad of a bust, but the writing on the wall probably indicates he is. I have a sliver of hope that Corley can make something of his career, but probably doesn't happen. It sounds like it might be Josh Reynolds. It probably is still Lazard though. Lazard sounds gross, but it's probably still Lazard. Yeah, Miles Sanders, a shot at the RB1 in Dallas. Let's go. Let's do it. Gotta grab Sanders while I can, while he's still cheap, because if we get to August and all the reports are like, yeah, Sanders is above Javonte on the depth chart, then all my investments in Javonte like a month ago are gonna be trash. And if Sanders does get that job, and we know that for a fact, mid-August, then he'll move up like 50 spots, like just like Dobbins did. You know, Dobbins used to be going this late. Now he goes pick 130. Where was Dobbins in this draft? Dobbins goes 138. I've seen him in the 120s plenty of times as well. That could happen with Sanders. It's a backfield that's ambiguous. He's the cheapest option with legit chances to be the top dog there. So we'll take Sanders. Dobbins is a fade for you. He was for me as well, but now I kind of regret fading him like crazy. At this price, I'm not that tempted, but there's a world he's more valuable than like Najee Harris is, who's going still like 2 rounds earlier than him. So I mix him in every now and then. I just try and do it these days in a tournament where it's a fair price to take him. Like I don't want to take Dobbins at 135 in Best Ball Mania. That feels really stupid, given, you know, just like 3 weeks ago he was going at like pick 200. That in the same tournament, you know, that's people were drafting him in round 18 in Best Ball Mania a month ago. So why would you take him in round 12 in the same tournament? That doesn't make any sense to me. How many receivers I got? 6. We'll go Marshawn Lloyd. I mentioned Marshawn Lloyd's in that handcuff tier that I think is worth grabbing. So this is the running back core. Bijan, Kamara, Judkins, Braylon Allen, Miles Sanders, and Lloyd. Hopefully Judkins can really pay off, but there's definitely some big swings here with these other 3. And then quarterback, we got Fields, Tua, Bryce Young. Receiver, Ladd, Garrett Wilson, Jameson Williams, Hunter, Jaden Higgins, Hollywood Brown. I've ignored receiver a little bit too long. I don't think this receiving core is that safe, but I've been trying to draft more 7 receiver teams lately. I feel like that's probably one of the better things to do. And then tight end, we have Evan Ingram, Jonnu Smith, with a bagel in week 12, given they have the same bye week. Might have gone overkill at running back, but there's really no receivers that I'm like dying to take this late. If did not get sniped on Thielen, then I'd feel much better about our receiving core. But we were 1 pick away. It was worth the gamble. Did not work out. It's fine. We have 1 more pick left. So it's absolutely a receiver. No question about it. We could go Coker. Maybe Coker's the guy you need in Carolina. We can also go Malik Washington if we really want to, but That doesn't feel that safe. Probably not. Like you probably need Tyreek Hill to go down for Malik Washington to have any value. I mean, maybe Waddle goes down and it does work out, but probably you need Tyreek Hill off the board. Because Malik isn't like a huge deep threat. I never take Coker, so this feels kind of gross to draft him, but that's probably the move. We have Bryce Young unstacked. Bryce Young has some rushing value, but probably need a pass catcher of his on the team. Ugh. Yeah, this feels disgusting, but I'll take Coker. I'll mix him in. I never take Coker, so let's this will be the team where we take him. But can we do another poodle? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. There is no link to join my lobby. You just got to time it correctly and hope that one of us is not like one of the last people in a different lobby. So I have like a 5-second delay on, and we're doing another poodle. If you're ready, I'm gonna give you a few seconds to get ready. If you want to join with me, if not just Jamie, anyone else that wants to join me, pull it up, hit the button now. Hit the button right now, and in 3, 2, 1, I am joining. 7 spots left. If you want one, come take it. Oh, you can come on the live with me? Maybe another time, man. I don't have the shit set up to like pull you in. If you want to email me at niceandblunt@gmail.com, I'd be glad to coordinate something. If you'd like to come on the channel, we can set that up ahead of time. But in the moment right now, I don't want to have to fiddle with OBS settings and like, you know, not have audio and stuff. Like it's just not the moment for that. But maybe another time. Maybe another time. Email me at niceandblunt@gmail.com. We can coordinate something if you'd like to come on the channel another time. Just not in this moment. Anyways, we have pick 11, so this will be a much different team than the last two. I trust you. I don't want to have to fumble with all the settings, man. That's just not what I want to do. No offense. I appreciate the offer. Just not right now. Another time. Like I said, just email me. We can set something up. Anyways, I'm thirsty. I'm going to grab a drink real fast. I'm going to come back in just like 30, 40 seconds. All right, we're back. You're in here at the 104. Big game. Awesome. Got Jefferson. Never regret Jefferson. I think someone wants to say hi. Someone's coming in. You can probably hear her in the background. I have so much St. Brown. I'm gonna go Nico Collins just for the sake of mixing it up. I'm lightweight on Nico, and part of me is a bit worried that might bury me. But I'm not gonna go crazy on Nico just to catch up or anything. But just because I have a lot of St. Brown, that's what I'll do. Anyways, we're back on the clock. Oh wow. Okay. I mean, if that's what you're gonna leave me, okay, I'll do that. I'm not gonna pass on him twice. We'll go Nico St. Brown. Let's do it. Um, is she in frame? Hello. Hi. She's such a talkative cat. If you're new to the channel, if you've never encountered my Bengal, her name is Leia. She gets cranky sometimes. She's a bit of a bitch, in all honesty. Like she will bitch and complain, but she's a good girl. I know. She wants some treats. I'm gonna give her some treats. It's coming. It's coming. Here you go. Some dried beef liver. Freeze dried beef liver. Maybe I get my crotch out of the frame. Sorry about that. Maybe that's a better choice. Anyways, let's let her do that and get back to what we were doing. No, we don't need that. There we go. Okay, we got Nico Collins and Amon-Ra. Oh wait, is that a lion? No, she's a Bengal cat. Kitty in the house. Romeo Daubs. She meows like crazy. You got regrets drafting Jefferson? Oh, calm down, bro. Don't worry about that. That's fine. You go Jefferson, Taylor, and Garrett Wilson to start. That's not bad. He's fine. I don't know if it's insane. I feel like all the round 3 receivers are just like a little underwhelming. But it's just because there's like a big tier drop from like Brian Thomas, AJ Brown, Drake London. But compared to the rest of them, he's one of my preferred clicks at receiver in round 3 for sure. I just take Davante Adams way more than any other receiver in round 3. I'm a fiend for Davante Adams. Think I'm a pass on Kyren, and then we go Lamar. Just barely hit the button. Let's grab Lamar. I know I have a Josh Allen team in this tournament already, so I'm gonna go with Lamar. And of the top three quarterbacks, I am taking Lamar the most of them. Lamar's my guy. I believe in the Ravens. Yeah, you take Kyron off my hands. Thank you. Tempted to just grab Flowers here, but like kind of feels a little stupid. I normally go Tet, but you know what? F it. Let's mix it up. Let's grab the stack. We have Nico and St. Brown already, so we can kind of tolerate a bit of risk. On the wide receiver 3, Flowers needs to score more touchdowns. If it happens, then this is where he was going last year. And like he does have a tremendously high ceiling in best ball. Like he's another guy where like you're either getting 100 fucking yards or like 25. It's like pick a lane, bro. Just like be consistent. But in best ball, knowing that I never have to decide when to start him, I'll take him. You know, like 12 targets, 7 for 111. No touchdown, though. 9 for 9, 132 yards. No touchdown, though. 115 yards. No touchdown. 127 yards and 2 touchdowns. If we get like 3 of those games, a couple of them come in the fantasy playoffs, Flowers has the potential to fucking smash, man. Like, it's unfortunate that there's all these other games that piss you the fuck off. 20 yards, 10 yards, 11 yards, 34 yards. No touchdown in any of those fucking games. But like to ignore the ceiling on Flowers is a bit dumb. But am I worried that he doesn't score more than 5 touchdowns this year again? Yeah. Do I want the stack? Yeah. And in general, very few people have the Lamar Flowers stack. It's actually very difficult to draft both of them together. It's extremely rare that I've seen Flowers past like pick 54. The latest I think I've ever taken him is like 57, and that was like once, and it was like, oh fuck, this is quite a steal. But like a lot of these receivers in round 4 or 5 sometimes blend together, and Flowers does have the chance to give you, you know, a 28, 29 point game. He can give you like 9 catches, 140 yards, and 2 touchdowns. It is possible, but is it likely to happen a lot? No. A little underwhelming. But like I said, we have 2 studs at the top with Nico and St. Brown. We're not going to need Flowers to be in our lineup every fucking week for this team to advance. So we're going to need to catch up on running back for sure, but just give me the stack. I'll deal with the rest later. We're basically at the turn, and when you have to wait 20 picks for your next one, feel free to reach. You know, not all the time, from time to time. Feel free to do it. It's not the end of the world. So give me Flowers. Not going to draft scared, that's for sure. Should have taken Kyron at that spot. Took whoever left from Allen or Lamar because you guarantee the elite running back and elite quarterback. I'm not 100% sure that Kyron is a safe pick there. I'm a little worried about Kyron, man. Back-to-back years where they drafted a backup to replace him. He's a 5th-round pick at the end of the day. He's not explosive. Started to fumble a little bit at the end of last season. He's not the safest pick. Do I want Kamara again? I don't think I want Kamara again. I think I'm going to go Harvey. Let's bet on the rookie. I'm going to go RJ Harvey. And then I would like Travion Henderson. I'd like to go double rookie running back here. If we leave Kamara, there's more of a chance that they do not take Travion from me. It's been a while since I've taken Travion on the stream, but love Travion Henderson. One of my favorite running backs. Outsider. Take a receiver. You only have 2. You need a receiver. Grab a wide receiver. There we go. Yeah, take Rome. Let's go. Give me Travion. Let's go. Lamar Jackson, R.J. Harvey, Travion Henderson, Nico Collins, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Zay Flowers. So far, I like it. This is a tier break at running back, so let's double up since we've ignored it for such a long time. You ought to pick Kittle in the 4th. You wrote 3rd, but in the 4th, that Kittle's a great pick. Kittle's super safe, especially given he goes 2 rounds after McBride. Like, on a per game basis, Kittle outscored them. Kittle scores way more touchdowns than McBride. Kittle has a much higher ceiling. In best ball, I think Kittle's a much better pick than McBride at 23 compared to Kittle at 45. Got paid as well. There's also a lot of injury concerns in the Niners receiving core right now. You know Purdy loves Kittle. Kittle is a smash pick. Love Kittle. I think in redraft, I'm targeting Kittle as much as possible. Like in the auction draft for the subscriber league, I'm hoping we do not nominate Kittle early on because there's going to be a fucking bidding war like crazy. Like I'm hoping Kittle kind of makes it, you know, a few rounds and there's less people with like a massive budget. But Kittle's one of the most valuable players this season. Love George Kittle. I've taken George Kittle at pick 37 sometimes. I think anywhere in round 4 is totally justified. You like his value this year in a contract season? There's rumors he's up for like an extension, and it might happen, but I don't know. I'm worried about his backups. I'm also worried that Davante Adams steals like half of his touchdowns. I am not convinced in the red zone Stafford is going to throw another 3-4 touchdowns to Kyren this year when he has Davante Adams, one of the best red zone threats ever. I'm worried that Kyren, his volume comes down a little bit. He's extremely volume driven. Like if Kyren isn't getting 22, 23 touches a game, he's not the same guy. And then his touchdown production with Kupp getting like so banged up the last 2 years, there's really only Puka to compete with him for touchdowns. Like I'm worried about Kyren. Like I'll take him sometimes, especially if I like already have Puka, you know, and I'm just stacking up Rams. But every time I take him, I'm like, this is a little dicey here. Not my favorite decision. But how does Burrow fall to the 6th? It's because people want the stack, and if you don't have a Bengal, then it's justified to pass sometimes on a non-rushing quarterback that put up similar stats to like Baker Mayfield last year. But yeah, Joe Burrow has a massive ceiling, but you do not have a Bengal to stack. I'm surprised the team with Chase Brown passed, but other teams were setting it up. You sniped. Team 3 probably was going to pass themselves given they have Jalen Hurts, but I'm sure Team 1 is making the gamble that Burrow comes back around. But Shakir's available. I'll grab Shakir. I'll do that. We need some receivers. And then I'll also take Darnell Mooney. Do I go with Ibuka, though? Kind of want Ibuka a little bit. That team with Josh Allen is going to be pissed, but not my problem. Give me Shakir. Bummer for outsider there with Allen. Not letting it happen. I need Shakir and Flowers, I think, are a very good combo. Shakir is like a weekly 10-point type of guy that'll balance out those atrociously bad games from Flowers. But Shakir is never giving you the ceiling of Flowers. So, 1 week Flowers will be in the lineup. Next week it'll be Shakir. Ooh, they take Mooney. That's a bit of a bummer. I go Aaron Jones or I go Emeka Egbuka. If Jones was still in the Packers, I would take Aaron Jones because we have a bring back in week 17. The Ravens play the Packers, but Aaron Jones on the Vikings, so it's irrelevant. Give me Egbuka. I've been drafting a lot of Godwin, and I'm starting to feel the pressure a little bit on that as potentially a bad decision. I do not have a lot of Ibuka, so I want to get back some of the risk that I've given up. Or does that make sense? I don't. You know what I'm saying? I've taken a lot of Godwin. Want to mix it up? Want to go Ibuka because he's at least on the field week 1. I don't even know if Godwin's on the field week 6. You know. I also don't know how long Mike Evans has in his career to stay healthy. And I think that both of those factors are a major reason why they drafted Ibuka where they did. The Bucks drafting is generally on point. They usually make excellent draft day decisions. They know what they're doing in the talent scouting department. Excuse me. So I was high on Ibuka. I really wanted him to go to the Seahawks. I don't know why they didn't take him. I mean, they got a lineman, and their offensive line was bad. So I guess I understand. They want to be running the ball. But I thought if you paired up JSN and Ibuka together, that'd be a really deadly combo. But Ibuka, a little bit more of a slot receiver. They also have Cooper Kupp, who's good in the slot. So, yeah, I guess I understand, but I thought that was a wrong choice to pass by the Seahawks. Buck scooped him up. And he does have a good quarterback. Baker's good. You went with Swift over Shakir. You're falling a little behind at receiver, my friend. I mean, you got Pittman at a good value. At least you got Pittman there, but as your third receiver heading into round 9, it's a little dicey. You need some receivers, bro. You got Jefferson, Taylor, Garrett Wilson, George Kittle, Chuba, Joe Burrow, unstacked, Swift, and Pittman. It can work out. I'm not going to pretend like there's no upside here at all. It can definitely work out, but a little risky at receiver. Rather, definitely gambling at receiver. Tillman off the board. Bro, Tillman at 100. Whew. Not what I would have done. Kupp falls again by 10 picks. Very interesting. I mean, if Kupp is there at 107, I guess I'll take him, but this is a bit shocking. There he goes, 105, yeah. I don't think I'm going with Fields again. Oh man, this team behind me is gonna fucking hate me. I think I'm gonna go Keon. Maybe not. Let's go Scatterboo. They only have 2 running backs. Let's go Scatterboo. Let's leave him Keon Coleman. Let's give Team 12 a gift there with Keon. Don't snipe him twice just to be spiteful. But 3 rookie running backs on this team. Maybe not ideal. I go Najee. They better take Keon. They have Allen. Feels like an auto click. There it is. I think I'll go Bateman for the stack there with Lamar. Yeah, running back isn't speaking to me too much. Sharps is valuable, but I think I need like some early season points with this trio of RJ Harvey, Trayvon Henderson, Scatterboo. Like there could be a very slow start for this trio of rookies. And if Charbonnet is going to pop, it's not going to be week 1. Like, you need Walker to go down instantly. And I don't think that's going to happen. I'm talking shit about Tillman, but Bateman is a worse pick. Bro, you reached on Tillman by like 5 rounds. Tillman has 3 games in his career that are relevant. Otherwise, he's fucking ass. He had a concussion, missed 6 games. What are you doing drafting him at pick 100? Tillman there is not a good pick, man. And like you said, you let him auto. Okay. Believe what you want to believe, Jamie. But you can get Tillman 5 rounds later. Okay, so I'm probably cool it on receiver for a while. We have 6 at this point. We have an elite QB with Lamar, double stacked Flowers, Bateman, trip rookie running backs with RJ Harvey, Travion Henderson, Cam Scattaboo, and then full receiving core: Nico Collins, Amon Ra, Zay Flowers, Shakir, Egbuka, and Bateman. Okay. One more receiver, and that's gonna be it. Caleb. I it seems like some lobbies are just massive Caleb haters. Because to ignore the upside for 20 picks doesn't make sense to me. Especially if you're a team with like Rome or DJ Moore or Burden. But Caleb is still on the board here at 124. Goes QJ. Let's see. Which teams are going to consider? This team has to go Caleb here. They got DJ Moore. Don't have a quarterback. If they pass, that'd be insane to me. I'd be fucking shocked. Yeah. Good value on Caleb to Coco Boo with DJ Moore at 43. Kyle Williams off the board. That's good. Would love to see all the receivers fly off. We are set at receiver. So if Javonte falls, I'll probably go Javonte. We could go Stroud. But I think I'm going to let him swing back around. I don't have a tight end yet. Maybe I should take a tight end, but yeah, I'll go Dobbins. Pair him with RJ Harvey. Some of their touchdowns could flip-flop. There might be a bit more of a committee than I've been willing to admit. We'll take Dobbins just for the sake of mixing it up, but Stroud is my only other stacking option at quarterback left available. All our other quarterbacks have been taken because Goff is off the board. We did take Lamar, but Allen obviously off the board, and then Allen off the board, Baker off the board. Yeah, I'll just go Stroud and then call it a day. But still no tight end on this team. That's fine. With 2 quarterbacks like this, Lamar and Stroud, I can mix in 3 tight ends and not worry about it. Okay, so here's the team. We got Lamar Jackson and CJ Stroud. Stacks are Nico Collins with Stroud, Zay Flowers, and Bateman with Lamar. Other receivers include Amon Ra, Shakir, Igbuka, and then running back, we have RJ Harvey, Travion Henderson, Cam Scatterbo, J.K. Dobbins. We have yet to draft a tight end. We will take 3 towards the end. But running back's a little risky. At least we're locking up like 80% of the Broncos' backfield points. That should be somewhat valuable. Sean Payton does love to run the ball and also check it down to running backs as well. How do I balance stacks versus value? It helps to know the board. So that's where doing a lot of these drafts in the first place helps, where like you just have the experience of knowing where those quarterbacks go off the board. And then in general, past pick 100, almost every quarterback is going like way too late. Like there's so many good values at quarterback later on the board. Like Caleb goes 126. I mean, when you have a long turn to wait and the quarterback you're planning to stack is in the upcoming ADP, it generally just behooves you to take him because they're probably all going a little bit too late in the first place. Like this team goes with Michael Penix at 133. I don't fault them at all. They have Drake London. They also have Mooney. They need the stack. And although Penix is sometimes there at 156, it's a big gamble when you've already invested that much in the Falcons offense in the first place. So I think Outsider at pick 12 reached on Penix very appropriately at 133. Sometimes I push it, look at the rest of the board and see like, okay, most teams already have two quarterbacks. The teams with the other Falcons maybe are already set at quarterback. Maybe I can risk it. But like the team with Bijan had Bo Nix, Dak Prescott. There's a chance they go Penix there. Yeah, this is an example where like I'm not going to push CJ Stroud at 134 because I know the team with Jaden Higgins is going to be looking to take him as well. The team with Jaden Higgins has Hurts, no one else. I wasn't paying really attention because I was just deciding to do it. But like I know Stroud comes off the board in the 12th round. If he is available in the 13th, it's very rarely at the tail end of the 13th round. So even though there were quarterbacks like Herbert, I personally rank above him, also ranked higher on ADP, that if I was just going with the ADP I should have taken, it doesn't make sense for my team. I need Stroud. I don't need Herbert when I have Nico Collins and no Chargers. So that's the motivation there, to just assess the value and grab them. I've ignored tight end. I do not want Pitts, but I'm going to take Eckler. This team only has 3 running backs, and I think if they're drafting a tight end, it's going to be Pitts because they have all of those Falcons players. The better pick is definitely Freiermuth instead of Pitts. Freiermuth was just as valuable as Tucker Kraft last year. Yeah, they go Pitts. No skin off my back. I think they should have gone Palmer and Pitts personally, but we will take Freiermuth as our tight end 1. And I think Freiermuth is one of the best values at tight end you can find on the board. Kraft goes 125. And look at these stats on Tucker Kraft. Everyone loves Tucker Kraft. 70 targets, 50 catches, 707 yards, and 7 touchdowns. 138 fantasy points last season. Meanwhile, he came into the year as the number 2 tight end behind Luke Musgrave. It took him until like week 3 to like fully establish himself as the tight end 1, no questions answered. Then Luke Musgrave gets hurt, and you get pretty much a full season where Kraft is playing like 80% of the snaps at tight end. That is not a guarantee to happen again. So remember this number, 138 total points, 7 touchdowns for Tucker Kraft. Now let's go to Freiermuth, who we just took at pick 158. So 30 picks later, total points 135.8. So 3 points less on the season for Freiermuth versus Kraft. 78 targets is 8 targets more. 65 receptions is 15 extra catches. And then 653 yards is 50 yards less. So, yeah, there's a little bit less explosiveness with Freiermuth. That's understandable. But then again, 7 touchdowns, the exact same number as Tucker Kraft. So for 30 picks cheaper, you can get almost an identical season of production from Pat Freiermuth coming off of last year with less competition, given Darnell Washington is the only threat. Everyone's worried, oh, Johnny's going to get traded to the Steelers because Arthur Smith wants him. I don't believe that's going to happen. Until it does, I'm not going to worry about it. And we're getting the exact same amount of points total from Pat Freiermuth as we are essentially getting from Tucker Kraft. The only difference, it is 33 picks later, almost a full 3 rounds cheaper in ADP. I love Pat Freiermuth's value. Absolute steal. Excellent player to draft. Don't take Kyle Pitts. Even if you have Penix, I would much rather just take Freiermuth. Like, yeah, I guess the stack, fine. But like straight up, Freiermuth is going to outscore Pitts by a mile. He might outscore Tucker Kraft this year. Definitely in the cards to happen. Absolutely possible. So, in the 14th, Freiermuth, fucking smash pick, in my opinion. I'm very comfortable with Freiermuth as my tight end 1. How many running backs I have now? I have 5. We got 2, 5, 6, 1. We need another tight end. Not going to go Ertz. Could go Gesicki. Could go Otten. Could go Taylor. I'll go Gesicki. Swing for the fence. Hoping he scores more touchdowns this year, but kind of needs an injury above him to really smash. However, T. Higgins usually misses time. T. Higgins is not safe to stay healthy at all. T. Higgins has missed. Last year it was 5 games. The year before that it was 5 games. The year before that it was 1 game. 3 games before that, another game in 2020. T. Higgins usually misses some time, but probably doesn't miss more than 5 games this season. Anyways, do I go Hopkins just for like another fucking stacking option? Probably not. I think I'll go Justice Hill instead. Give me a running back because the running back core I have is a little bit risky. Let's go Justice Hill. Pass catcher. Derrick Henry another year older. Probably give him a tiny bit of a break towards the end of the season. Vincent, no, there's no extra points, but you're trying to make the most money in week 17 in these tournaments. Like that's where all the money is in week 17. And if you have the quarterback 1 on the week, it's going to usually be because they throw multiple touchdowns and then you are correlating high-end potential with receivers. So it's just an easier way to assume that your bet is correct. There are numbers that point to stacks being very beneficial. Like the person who won Best Ball Mania last year had a full Bengals stack. He had Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Yoshivas, Gesicki, and Chase Brown. Like, I don't think that's a pure coincidence. It happened to be the right stack. You can definitely stack with the wrong team and it fucking burns you. But if you stack with the team that does pay off with the highest score on the week, like the Bengals offense kind of offered, it can work out. Like the margins in these tournaments are so slim. Any minor percentage chance that I have a correct bet by stacking is worth it. Granted, there's some quarterbacks you don't need to stack at all, like Justin Fields, perfect example. You don't need to stack with Justin Fields. I technically don't need to stack with Lamar Jackson. Lamar could be the quarterback one, and it's because he ran for like 140 yards and 3 touchdowns, and gives me a 50-point monster game that doesn't correlate at all with any receivers. But there's also a world where the stack is the path for success. So if you don't want to stack, go ahead. But I've seen enough data. I would recommend. I think he posted it last year. Fantasy Flock or Flock Fantasy has an excellent video on it. For the sake of these best ball tournaments, there is logic behind stacking that does benefit you. It's not dumb. I would disagree with the idea that it's just for excitement. That's my stance on it. But you can have your opinion. That's fine. If you don't want to stack, you don't have to. I choose to stack. Anyways, we need one more tight end. We could go Schultz for the Stroud stack. And then I also need a receiver. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 receivers. And so tight end, receiver, those are the last 2 picks. Hoping for Schultz. That makes the most sense to me. Even though I'm a bit worried about his target share drastically diminishing. But 85 targets last year. 88 the year before. Okonkwo gets taken. We are absolutely taking Schultz. And we'll take him here. And then think about the last selection. Let the timer go out. No, I'll just take him. That's fine. I know who I'm taking. So yeah, tight end core, Freiermuth, Gesicki, Schultz. That's fine to me. That's definitely fine. And then I can take whoever I want. There's no one that really correlates at this stage. Let's see. Texans play the Chargers. Ravens play the Packers. We could go Wicks. But it doesn't inspire much confidence. Could go Amari. I'm going to go... Yeah, I'll just take Dontayvion Wicks. That's fine. Yeah, I'll take Wicks. F it. That Packers-Ravens game hopefully has some high scoring. All right, so here's the team. I think it's decent, a little bit risky, but has some upside. We got Lamar Jackson. Always happy with Lamar as my QB1. Stacked up with Justice Hill, Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman. Should be good enough. Stroud stacked up with Nico Collins and Dalton Schultz. Running back core, RJ Harvey, Travion Henderson, Cam Skattebo. So this is the big risk, this rookie investment. Paired up with J.K. Dobbins, we got the other Broncos running back. Hopefully it works out. And then Eckler and Justice Hill. Cobra says that's a good pair with the rookies. I hope so. I think there should be some decent points early on. Also, another reason why I was like happy with Justice Hill here. Historically, Derrick Henry has always like a slow start. Like in week 1, they never push him like crazy. Like in week 1, they give Derrick Henry like a little bit of like a ramp up, and Justice Hill should be a little bit more involved in week 1. That's what happened last year. Generally, Derrick Henry in week 1, not given his like full bevy of touches, a bit of a, like I said, ramp up in week 1 for the rest of the season. So I'm a little bit worried about my rookie running backs in week 1 not giving me much value. Week 2, Justice Hill probably falls back to irrelevance a decent amount, but Does have some decent upside. Eckler, I think, is a good value in general. And then Dobbins, if our bet on RJ Harvey is incorrect, it'd be good to have Dobbins as a fail safe. Receiver, very strong at the top. Nico Collins, Amon-Ra St. Brown, love that combo. Both ADPs at pick 11, so happy to get St. Brown at pick 14. Nico with him, also good. And then Flowers we reached on, but for the sake of the stack, I think it's worth gambling on. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, he still has that elite ceiling, just hoping that the touchdowns hit more often. And then to pair him with Shakir, that offers us a decently high floor where those rough, atrocious games from Flowers don't bury me too bad. We have some decent uh, insurance in terms of Shakir. Egbuka, absolute wild card. Egbuka could be a terrible pick, also could fucking smash. Baker probably gets in the ball decently early on in the season. Maybe Godwin missed a lot of time. Maybe Evans goes down, and Egbuka as a first round talent should be good enough. Bateman for the stack, hoping for the touchdowns that don't go to Flowers go to him, and then Dontavian Wicks for that Week 17 bring back the Ravens, play the Packers. Maybe Golden is not as elite as some people are hoping. Maybe Jaden Reed goes down. Maybe he overtakes Romeo Doubs. Maybe he just has some touchdowns and he's the guy you need. That may not work out. That's a very risky pick, but in round 18, always risky. And then tight end, I think from a floor standpoint, very, very solid. Freiermuth, love his value. Schultz for the stack, decent, should get a decent amount of targets, but a little bit risky. And then Gesicki could have tremendous upside, just needs some injury risk generally to pay off. Hopefully he scores more than 2 touchdowns like he did last year. So team is decent, not too bad. Running back, a little shaky, but could work out. Definitely some high appeal on the higher end of the threshold with these rookies. Hopefully they pop. I think they have a chance to make some noise, especially late in the season. Hoping I can just qualify and advance in this 12-team pod. But it was good. Let's mention Big Games team, who's also drafting with us. Jamie Parag, we usually mention anybody else's team that's drafting with us. He goes, Joe Burrow. Do you have any stacks on Joe Burrow? Unfortunately not. Oh, you have Yoshivas. Yoshivas. I also like Jermaine Burton. Just a heads up. Jermaine Burton, round 18, may actually outscore Yoshivas. It's possible, but a gamble. We don't know for a fact. At the moment, it's probably safer to bet on Yoshivas. Also has JJ McCarthy with Justin Jefferson. Definitely worth it. No other stacks there. Running back, Jonathan Taylor, Chuba Hubbard, DeAndre Swift, Jalen Wright, Will Shipley. Like that you stopped at 5. Very, very competitive with that elite trio, and then some high-end upside handcuffs, so not bad. Not bad at all. Wide receiver, Justin Jefferson, Garrett Wilson. Michael Pittman is the third, is, like I mentioned earlier, very, very tricky. You reached on Tillman by 50 picks. I told you you didn't like that pick, but you do you, bro. QJ also reached on him by 24 picks. I would have waited, but you do you, bro. Not terrible. QJ, at that point in the draft, all the receivers are ugly, so get your guy. Michael Wilson reached on him as well. You do you. Yoshivas, good for the stack. Deontay Johnson hopefully works out in Cleveland, but last year was rough. Hopefully it's not too cold for him. The guy doesn't like to play in 40-degree weather, so we'll see how that works out. And then Kittle, Njoku, Zach Ertz. Ertz is another pick I don't know if I would have made personally. Like when you have Kittle and Njoku, I think you can call it at 2, but you do you, bro. Hopefully it works out. Receiver, very, very risky on this team. Otherwise though, I don't think it's that bad. Receiver though, ugly as fuck. That's just my opinion there. Anyways, that's gonna be it. Let me check the chat real quick, see if there's anything else to mention. Vincent, to clarify what I meant, I wouldn't pass on a superior player for the opportunity to create a stack. Glad to find your channel tonight. Nice when people are live when I'm up. Yeah, that's fair. If there's clearly a much better option, then yeah, I would agree. Sometimes the stack is overrated, but if you need the stack, if you want the stack, that's also a way for success. But yeah, if there's clearly a better value, then yeah, I don't think you have I don't think you're wrong on that. Um, I did not reach on Bateman. I took Bateman at ADP. That's the thing, man. We are in a tournament. That's the only thing. Gotta keep that in mind. Um, Hill close to an RB3 last year. I think 37th. Yes, that's PPR, but that's also with Henry completely dominating as well. Maybe a chance Mitchell mixes in a little more. Yeah, I am a little bit worried about Mitchell, but they play very different roles. You know, like the role that Mitchell plays is definitely different than Justice Hill. And another reason I like Justice Hill, we'll pull this up real quick. Okay, so here's Over the Cap. This is a website called Over the Cap. Let me zoom out just a little bit. OTC, overthecap.com is what I'm pulling up. And this is just a compilation of contracts. That's the word I'm looking for, contracts. And if we go to Justice Hill, they just made a decently high investment in Justice Hill. Granted, $3 million per season is not that much, but for a backup, that's somewhat relevant. He is the 27th highest paid running back in the NFL at age 28. He will be on the team until 2027, and he did have a few like blow up games last year. So I like that they gave him the contract. They know for a fact what his role is. Henry doesn't catch many passes, neither does Keaton Mitchell. I know Justice Hill will be on the field, and that's why I'm willing to invest in him. But yes, I do agree. If Henry goes down, I do think Keaton Mitchell has, breakout potential for sure. I am a little concerned about him, but I don't think Justice Hill's role will go away. I still think Justice Hill will play, whether or not Henry is off the field or not. I can't say that about Keaton Mitchell, because if Henry stays healthy again, how many snaps are you really getting from Keaton Mitchell? But if not for getting hurt at the end of the season, there was also a world where Justice Hill was the running back you might have needed to win your league. Like in week 15, he had 5 catches, 61 yards, and a touchdown. So that's 12.1, 13.6. He had 14 points in half PPR in week 14, and then he was about to potentially crush in week 16, but he got a concussion after 7 snaps. He went down very early in that game, but he had 2 rushes for 30 yards and a touchdown. He scored 9 points in 7 snaps in week 16. And kind of on the flip side of like my week 1 thing with Henry, where they ramp him up and it's a slow start for Henry, it's also possible that the Ravens are like in the driver's seat for like the number 1 seed. Like they might lock up their division potentially if they're really that good. And they might try and keep Henry fresh for the playoffs again. And maybe Justice Hill does factor in a little bit more in the game plan. But like you said, maybe it's Keaton Mitchell now that Mitchell is healthy. So we'll see about that. Would definitely prefer Justice Hill in full PPR. This is half PPR, so you got a point. I'm not going to pretend like you don't, but yeah, that was my decision. Anyways, you're welcome, bro. I understand the like potential that Tillman is like, the guy you need. Last year, I loved having Tillman on my fantasy team. Those 3 weeks he fucking blew up. But the concussion, missing 6 games after that, that's a major red flag on Tillman. And then otherwise, he's done nothing in his career, otherwise at all. So to take him 50 spots above ADP is very bold. Not what I would do. Anthony asking, am I crazy for taking McCaffrey in the 5th slot in full PPR 12 team? No, man. I don't think that's crazy at all. It's risky. It's for sure risky, but in full PPR, McCaffrey could catch 80 receptions. McCaffrey could be the running back 1, especially in full PPR. I don't think it's insane. If you want to gamble on McCaffrey in redraft, you can do it. You can definitely do it. Am I going to do it? Probably not. I'd rather have Bijan, and in full PPR, he might still be there at the 5th pick. I think that'd be safer. Bijan probably gets 80 targets himself. So I would just go Bijan. But if you want to go CMC, you do you, bro. I do think he's a first round pick. So to take him at 5, not insane. Just a little bit extra risky. If you can get Bijan instead, or even Gibbs, I think I just stick with those guys. But in full PPR, McCaffrey does move up a little bit. Yeah, that's for sure. Where do you get my rankings? I'm gonna be posting my rankings on YouTube. That's pretty much the only place to get my shit. In July, I've got some other stuff I'm kind of focusing on. In July is when I'm gonna be hitting the rankings videos much harder. I have them in my own database. I know my rankings, but I have not made them public. Not yet. Look out for that. Just subscribe, hit the notification bell if you're interested, and that's gonna be it. This will be the last question I answer. I'm gonna log out after this. But so why is Olave so much higher than Tillman with only 1 concussion? Serious question. I mean, concussions are not the only factor. For like Olave was drafted 11th overall or 10th overall. Like Tillman's not a household name, bro. Like Tillman has barely played. He had 3 good games in his entire career. Drafted in the 3rd round. Olave is that the concussion is not part of the equation on Olave versus Tillman. Anyways, that's going to be it. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you had a good night. And that's going to be it for me. Anyways, subscribe if you have not done so already. Appreciate everyone for watching the video and wish y'all a good weekend. I might hop in during the weekend one more time. Maybe tomorrow or Sunday. But I'll see you later. Peace out, everyone. Goodbye.